When 7-year-old Kaede Ariyama called home after school on November 17, 2004, her mother expected her home in only a matter of minutes. When the girl never showed up, she assumed she might have gotten distracted by friends. But when her mother got a message that read, quote, "I have your daughter," it was the beginning of a month of torment by a sadistic sex offender. This is Monsters. Kaoru Kobayashi was born on November 30th, 1968 in Sumiyoshi-ku, Osaka, Japan. Kaoru would later tell a reporter that his father was abusive and he was bullied in school. Because his family was poor, he began working as a paperboy when he was young to bring in extra money. It would be a job he continued for the rest of his life. Kaoru said because of that, he was robbed of his childhood. His mother died in 1978 when Kaoru would have been about 10 years old. After that, he began smoking, shoplifting, and stealing motorbikes. In school, it's reported that he began touching female classmates inappropriately. In his 20s, Kaoru would quickly become a repeat offender against children. In 1989, he was convicted of sexually assaulting 2 5-year-old girls. Not only would he have only received a 4-year sentence, but that sentence was suspended with probation, so Kaoru was a free man. In October of 1991, he attempted to strangle a 5-year-old girl and was charged with attempted murder. His suspended sentence was revoked and 3 years was added for the new conviction. He was paroled on November 9, 1995 and officially released on July 23, 1996. After his release from prison, Kaoru went back to what he knew, delivering newspapers, and moved around quite a bit due to not being able to keep a job. He was fired from a newspaper in Osaka for stealing 230,000 yen, which would be about $1,000 US. In 2004, he moved to the city of Nara just east of Osaka and got a job delivering papers in the Tomio neighborhood. Coincidentally, that was for the same newspaper he had been fired from, but they were unaware he had been fired from the Osaka branch. Kaoru told police that during his time living there, he would regularly steal children's underwear from clotheslines. Kaede Ariyama was born on August 3, 1997 in Nara, Japan to Shigeki and Eri Ariyama. She had a younger sister who was 2 years old at the time of her death. On November 17, 2004, Kaede was walking home from Tomio North Elementary School like she did any other day. She called her mother to let her know she was on her way home but never arrived. Kaede's mother attempted to contact the girl on her cell phone, but she got no answer. Eri walked to the school looking for her daughter, and when she got there, 2 students told her they saw Kaede get into a white car which drove away. It was at about 6 p.m. that Kaede was reported missing to the police, and a search for the girl quickly got underway. At just after 8 p.m., Eri got a message on her phone that had been sent from Kaede's phone. The message said, quote, "I have your daughter," and there was a picture attached. It was of Kaede lying on a floor in an unfamiliar room, and she didn't look alive. At just after midnight, someone saw what looked like a body in a ditch on the side of the road and called police. The police reported, quote, "The girl was dressed in the same clothes, a red sweatshirt and dark blue denim skirt she had worn to school, but her mobile phone, bag, shoes, socks, and denim jacket were not found. They suspect the girl was slain elsewhere and the body was dumped at the site." Her autopsy determined that her cause of death was drowning, and since the water was clean, investigators believed she had been drowned inside in a bathtub as opposed to an outdoor body of water. They were able to use GPS data from Kaede's phone from when the message was sent to her mother and were able to narrow down the area to about a 100-meter radius around where the body had been dumped. It was too big of an area to find the murderer, and the investigation stalled for almost a month. Despite authorities canvassing the area and putting up posters asking for any information, Kaoru could have gotten away with the crime, but his desire to torment Kaede's family would end up giving investigators a way to find him. On December 14th, Kaoru sent another picture to Ari with a message that said, quote, "Her sister will be next." He had sent himself the pictures he had taken with Kaede's phone, and this new message was sent from his own phone. If that wasn't brazen enough, he had also shown the pictures to some customers at a restaurant he frequented, telling them he found them on the internet. It didn't take much longer for police to track Kaoru's phone, and they arrested him on December 30th. When they searched his apartment, they found Kaede's backpack, her cell phone, as well as a large amount of child sexual assault videos, 80 sets of children's underwear or swimsuits, and a doll torso with no limbs. Authorities would learn that, on November 17th, Kaoru drove to Osaka in search of a girl he could sexually assault, but was unsuccessful. He returned to the Tomio area where he saw Kaede walking home from school. Not long after the girl had called her mother to let her know she was on her way home, Kaoru pulled up and offered her a ride. He told her he had a quick errand to run and drove to his apartment. Once there, he said he had to grab some luggage and asked her to help him. She followed him into his apartment where he attacked her. Kaoru told investigators that he only planned to sexually assault the girl, but he realized she was more intelligent than he expected. Once he realized she would be able to easily identify him, he decided to kill her. He drowned her shortly after 3 p.m., then went out to eat, thinking it would give him an alibi. Once he returned to his apartment, he sexually assaulted the child, then he pulled out some of her teeth and took pictures of her body. He redressed her and dumped her body in a ditch near her home at about 10 p.m. On the same day, police had also issued an arrest warrant for Kaoru for the embezzlement of the 230,000 yen he had stolen from the newspaper in Osaka. But since the newspaper manager was under the impression that Kaoru would be paying the money back in installments, he was not immediately arrested. Kaoru underwent a psychiatric evaluation and he was diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder and pedophilia. The doctor determined that he did understand that his actions were wrong and said that he would likely be a repeat offender, which makes sense since he already was a repeat offender. Not only had he been convicted of multiple sexual assaults and an attempted murder, he had a history of sexual assault all the way back to his school days. The prosecution chose to seek the death penalty, and the defense used his childhood of abuse as an excuse for why he became a pedophile. During his trial, Kaoru was noticeably bored, yawning, and showing little emotion. He also actively refused to apologize to Kaede's family and showed no remorse for his actions. He was found guilty and sentenced to death on September 26, 2006. His defense filed an appeal, but Kaoru withdrew it the same day, saying he wanted to be executed quickly. After the verdict, the principal of Kaede's school said, quote, "After the ruling, it is only natural that Kaoru Kobayashi be hanged, but this would never ease the family's sorrow. Even though nearly 2 years have passed since the killing, parents still accompany their children to and from the school, and teachers and parents lay flowers at Kaede's desk. For the children and parents, the case will never end." In 2005, a new program was introduced by the Justice Ministry that included sharing information about sex offenders who have been released from prison with the police agency. The prison system has also implemented a treatment program for sex offenders. Kaoru Kobayashi was hanged on February 21, 2014. He was 44 years old. He lived a life of deviance and would have likely never stopped preying on children. The world is a safer place without that monster in it. Thanks for watching This Is Monsters. New episodes are uploaded twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays. There are occasional bonus episodes covering unsolved cases and criminal history. If you have a suggestion for a case you think I should cover, leave it in the comments. You can always follow the channel on Instagram at thisis_monsters and purchase merch at thisismonsters.com. Thanks so much, and be safe.